Welcome to the testing world. So previously we have seen methods and how we can call method by creating object of the class. Now I'll explain methods in detail. So agenda of this session would be we are going to cover different type of methods. Here we are going to write methods which are not taking any argument and not returning any value. Then I'll show you how we can pass argument but no return value, and at the end I'll show you how we can pass argument and return value as well. Moving to the Eclipse. So here first of all, that is the method which we have created previously. Okay, I'll just remove the class C as of now, and I'm here on the I have two classes A and B. If you notice, as of now we have created a method hello and testing. So these are the methods which are not taking any input, or we can call it argument, and not returning any value. So that's a simple method which is doing some task, not taking input and not returning any value. Okay, I'll delete this testing method as well as of now. So I'm not calling it. Okay, now I want to perform a calculation. Calculation means, okay, here I want to perform 100 plus 200, and it could be any calculation. I'm adding two numbers only. It could be any two number. As of now I'm taking example of 100, 200, 100 and 200, but it could be any number. Okay, I want to create a method like public void sum, and this method will add two numbers. But what will be the number? One approach is that I can create two variables like a is equal to 100, b is equal to 200, c is equal to a plus b, and just print it. But if you notice, as of now, whenever this method will be called, it will always sum 100 and 200. So I'm getting answer 300. If I try to execute it one more time, we are getting 300. Why? Because every time a value is 100 and b is 200. But I want to make it dynamic, because it might be possible in my team somebody else want to call this method with different inputs. So here we have fixed the input, but I want to make it dynamic. For that I just remove these two variables from here, and in the bracket I have defined first variable and second variable, and these are comma separated. Here we don't call it variable, we call it arguments. So we have given two arguments or two inputs, means this method need two input to perform the task. Now let me try to call it. I'm just calling the sum method. So when we are calling it, it asks pass the two numbers. Okay, first number I'm passing 10 and second I'm passing 20. Just execute, we got the output. So now we make it dynamic method which is taking some input and accordingly it is behaving. Accordingly it is behaving means accordingly we are getting result. So if anybody else call this method, so if I take an example, my team member want to call this method, so he or she will create the object of this class A and can call with the different set of input. So now this method is dynamic. We can pass different number of inputs and accordingly it will work. So here we have created a method which is taking two inputs, or we can call it two arguments, and accordingly it is working. So that is the example of method which is taking argument, and these can be any number of argument. Okay, if I take an example, I want to perform sum of any three numbers, means I want to perform this task like whatever the number you are going to pass, I want three numbers and you want to perform the calculation like this. So what you will do, I'll just create a method like public void sum. Name could be anything, I'm just taking sum, and in the bracket I'm saying I want three inputs, int a, int b and int c. As of now I'm expecting to get three integer values, but you can expect any values. Okay, I'll show you the example of that as well. Here I'm saying c int d is equal to a plus b plus c, and just print d. So now we have created a method which is asking for three argument and it is performing the task. One more important thing we have to understand, if we have a method which is asking for one argument, we have to pass exactly one argument. If we have for 2 argument, we have to pass 2 argument. Here we have 3 arguments. We have to pass exactly 3 argument. If we don't pass exact number of argument, there is a method which is asking for 3 arguments, or I'll say 3 inputs, but I'm passing only 2. So it will throw you error. You'll not be able to execute that. So here we have seen how we can create a method which is asking for the argument or which is taking for the argument. It's not always mandatory to create method with argument. It depends on the requirement. If I want to perform any task only, I don't need any input for that. So I'll not ask for the argument. But if you want to take input and accordingly your method will work, so in that case we'll have to take arguments. Okay, now I want to perform some calculations. So my requirement is I want to perform this calculation by using programming. So there could be 2 approaches to do that. Okay, first approach I'm coming to, I'll create a method like public void calc. I'm asking for 3 arguments. So int a, int b, int c, and as of now I'm taking integer argument. It depends on you. If you want, first argument should be float, second should be int, third should be a string. So you can define that. But as of now, I need only integer arguments. I'm passing integer. Here what I'm doing, int d is equal to means I want to perform the calculation and result will be stored into the d. And here I want sum of a plus b, which will be multiplied with the c, and then final output will be stored into the d, and I just want to print it. So I'm performing this calculation by using this method which is taking argument. Okay, now let me call it. I'm passing like 100, 200 and 30, whatever the input you want to pass. Now it will give us answer 9000. Why? 100 plus 200 is equal to 300 into 30, 9000. So we have created a method which is taking 3 arguments and working as per the logic. So we have seen method which are not taking any argument. What do you mean by the return value? I'll explain it later. Second, we have seen we have created a method which is taking argument but not returning value. So as of now we did not discuss about the return value, so I'm just ignoring it. Now I'm coming to the third type of method which is taking argument and returning value as well. But before returning the value, we must understand what's the need of that. Okay, let me move to the Eclipse again, and I want to perform this calculation. We already written the method for it, but this method has a problem. Okay, what's the problem with this method? Problem is it is doing the logic correctly. I can call it, but I have a team member who want to perform only sum of 2 numbers. Will this method will be helpful for him? Answer is no, because this is not doing only addition. It is doing addition plus multiplication. Okay, I have another team member who want to perform multiplication. Will this method work? Answer is no, because it is doing addition and multiplication. So as of now, this method is not too much reusable. And always, whenever we want to write method, we should try to create reusable code. Okay, then how we can do that? If you notice this calculation, I want to perform 2 tasks. One is addition and other one is multiplication. So I try to create 2 methods. Public void sum, which is taking 2 values and just adding them. So I'm saying C is equal to A plus B. I'm adding it. I'm doing the addition here. In the same way, I want to create one more method, public void mul, which is again taking 2 inputs and doing the multiplication. Okay, before moving forward, I want to explain one thing over here. Here also you are asking for 2 arguments and define int A and int B. Here also we are using the same name. Do we have any linking between them? Answer is no. Whenever we are creating any variable at the class level means outside the method, that is called global variable, can be used anywhere in the class. But whenever we are creating any variable here in the method, so these are the two variable, we call it argument, and third one is here. These are called local variable. Scope of the local variable is up to the method only. Means this A, B and C can be used in this method only. In the same way, this A, B and C can be used in this method only. So now we have two methods. One is doing addition and other one is doing multiplication. But if you notice here, addition result, I don't want to print. I want to use this addition result as an input to the multiplication. So if you see here, addition of two numbers stored into the C, but I don't want to print it. I want to reuse as an input to the multiplication. So how we can do that? Okay, here the concept of return value. Let's take an example. I have two friends, A and B. A is good in addition and B is good in multiplication. I call person A and giving the input like 100 and 200. He done the calculation in his mind. Now he has to return me a value, which is the output of addition. Now, once I get the value, I'll pass this value as an input to other person who is going to do multiplication. In the same way, here, whatever the result of the sum stored into the C, now I'm returning the value. So I mentioned return C, and by default here it is mentioned void. Void means no value is returned. But now I'm returning a value which is stored into the C. Here we are not returning the C. We are returning the value stored into the C. So sum of the A plus B will be stored into the C, and then that value will be returned. But what is the data type of C? Int. So on the place of void, we have to mention int, means we are returning integer type value. So this method is going to take two arguments, will perform the task on that, and final sum value will be returned. Now this multiplication method, if you notice, will be taking two inputs. If you check it, one input will be the result of this and second is this, and whatever the final result, it is just going to print it, because here return value I don't want to use it anywhere else, so I just print it here. Okay, now let's go for the calling. So if I call the sum first, I'm calling for sum. It is asking for two inputs, but if you check here, after the colon it mentioned int, means it is going to return integer value. So I'm passing two values like this. It will return integer result. So where you want to store? So I have created a variable z. So whatever the result of the sum will store into the z. Now I'm calling multiplication. First input is z and other one is 30. So now I'm just going to call this. Let's see the output, and we are getting correct output. Okay, let me explain you this complete structure one more time. Here when we are calling the sum method and passing two inputs, let's go to the sum. It will call the sum method. First value will be stored into the A and second will be in the B. So in this case, A will become 100 and B will become 200. Now here A plus B will be added. So final value become 300, which is stored into the C. So here we are going to have a value C, which is 300. Okay. Now we are returning this value, means whatever the result, just return it. So we are returning the value of C. So it will return 300 from here. And whenever you are returning any value, we have to mention like, okay, C is a integer data type. So we are defining int. Whenever we are not returning any value, it will be void. So by default, it's a void. We can change it. Okay. It is returning a value which is 300. When we are calling this method will give 300. I'm storing that into a variable which is z. So once this line will execute completely, z value will be 300. Now, when you are calling the multiply, you are passing two inputs. One is a z. So you will pass like 300 and 30. So this multiplication will take two inputs. First is 300 and other one is 30. Here 300 will come and 30 will come. So here A value will become 300 and B is 30. Now A into B means 9000 and we are just printing it. So if you notice, we have performed this calculation by using two different methods, and advantage of this approach is here these are the two separate methods. So if in my team somebody want to perform only addition, he or she can use my method. In the same way, if a person want to perform only multiplication, still you can use my method. So that's a reusable method. So always when we are writing code, try to write methods which are more reusable. So here we have seen three different type of method. One which is not taking any argument, not returning value. So if you notice, that is a hello method, not taking any argument, not returning any value. Then we have seen another method which is taking argument but not returning any value. This is taking argument but not returning any value. It is just printing it. And third, we have seen taking argument and returning value as well, like this. This return value depends, do we need to reuse this value somewhere else? So if you notice, result of the sum I want to use as an input to the multiplication. So we returned it. But if you don't want to reuse, you can just skip it. So now we got understanding how to return value and when to return value. So if you want to reuse the result, just return it, else leave it. Okay, we can have one more type of method, which is just returning a value, which is not taking any argument but returning a value. Okay, if I notice I have an integer having some value, I want to create a method which is returning value of this variable. So I can mention like public void, and I'm just giving the method name get marks. You can give any name, and this method will return the value of the marks. So I just mention like return marks, but here you mention void and you are returning value. So what is the data type of this marks? Is integer. I just mentioned int. So now we have one more method which is not taking argument but returning any value. So let me call this get marks, and it should display 80. So let's execute. Okay, whatever the value returned by the marks, I am just storing in another variable which is r and going to print it. So I just execute this, we got 80. Whenever value is returned by the method and you want to use it, so you will have to store somewhere in the variable and then use it. Okay, even what we can do, value will be returned by this, I'm storing into the r, or you can do like this, like this. So now we don't need this line. Okay, why don't we need this line? Because whatever the value returned, I'm storing it in the r and then printing it. But here what we do, I'm just directly printing the value which is returned by that method. So now this line is not needed. I'll just execute, you'll get output. In the same way, result of sum I want to use as an input here. So I can just directly call the method here. So if you notice here, it will, the value which we are going to get after the sum execution will be placed here. So now we don't need this line. Executing, we got the result. So here in this session, we have seen different type of method. One, not taking argument, not returning value, taking argument, not returning value, taking argument, returning value as well. And fourth, we have seen which is only returning value, not taking argument. Few things need to be remembered. Whenever we are defining arguments, same data type value will be passed as an input to this method. So if you define two integers, so we have to pass exactly two values of integer type. Also, when we are returning any value, always check what is the data type of this variable. So that is int. We have to mention like this. So if I take an example, I have a like float f is equal to 23.23 f, and I want to return it like return f. So you'll have to mention here float, because this time we are returning a float value. And if we are returning the float here, after calling, it will store into the float. Okay, let me just call it. I'm saying o.hello. Here you can check, it shows it is going to return a float value. So result will be stored in a float kind of variable because that method is returning a float value. So here we have seen different type of methods. That's all we have for this session. Thanks for watching this video.